Jack, I'm so excited to speak with you. I just spoke with Joe and he described you as amazing person, and I cannot wait to just get into this.
I love Joe so much. He's so special.
The sweetest person ever. And I mean, I'm just so excited to dive into this conversation with you. Agatha All Along and WandaVision seem to have these love letters to pop culture. Was
Mm.
that something that you always wanted to explore, or do you feel like the work was calling for that exploration of things that I happen to love a lot? My
Yeah,
goodness, Jack,
I
get out of
know,
my
right?
head.
So WandaVision, I was asked to pitch on WandaVision, and so the idea that they had was Wanda and Vision and a sitcom, like them in a sitcom through the ages. They weren't entirely sure how to execute it, and that's what I brought was like this is how we do this. This is the shape of it. But the idea that sort of that existed, and so yeah, I sort of feel like it came to me that I got to do this pastiche and really authentically do parody in the way that it is at once paying tribute and paying respect to, and also kind of sending up and examining the tropes and picking apart the tropes. And the reason I love it so much is because I'm a fan. I am a cultural omnivore, and all I want to do if I'm not working, I want to be watching, or reading. And so yeah, so it was a surprise. WandaVision was a surprise to me that experience was so enriching and so fun. And then yeah, I wanted to do it again with Agatha, and yeah, like what is more fun than pop culture? Let's get in the pool together. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Cultural omnivore, like changing my life. That is my new job title. That is amazing. And I love what you get to do with horror as well. Is that a genre that you like growing up? Is that, what are some of your early horror memories?
Yeah, that's funny that you're asking that because like I don't consider myself really a horror fan, like a dyed-in-the-wool horror fan, but I actually, it's like, oh, but I love this and I love this and I love this. Right now the horror that I love is like Midsommar is one of my absolute
Hmm.
favorites because it's so like tightly woven, like every like nothing is wasted. Like every frame, every moment is of consequence, and the more you watch it, the more you pull out of it. And I just am astounded by that film. When I was younger, I loved like very little. I loved fantasy and the sort of like Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe and the sort of portal to a magical world. And there was always
Hmm.
danger inherent, like the Gamork in the Neverending Story scared the pants off me. And like got the Skeksis in Dark Crystal. Are you kidding me? Like they still terrify me. So it wasn't explicitly horror, but I love stories that had a fantastical like edge of danger. And I think it's that side of my personality and my love that comes out in this show.
Lastly, I have to ask about Chosen Family. This show seems like such a letter to, I told Joe, like a queer kid just hanging out with queer elders.
Mm,
That's all that we want. As someone who is teen growing up, I
mm.
love that. Was Chosen Family something that you really wanted to spotlight and send a love letter to as well?
Very much. Very much. Yes. In our research for the show, there's such an overlap of, the witch community and the queer community, and, the history of being persecuted, of being othered, of being marginalized, like these things just fit so neatly together. And witches are tribal, they're communal, like the circle is so vital. And so that was just all inherent. And then, creating Joe's character was about creating that audience surrogate, that we walk with Joe with our eyes as big as saucers at these icons surrounding us. I mean, we were blessed with this cast, but we were starting with Kathryn Hahn, right? We're already starting with an icon. And then we got lucky with Aubrey and Patti, obviously, and Sasheer and Allie and Debra Jo Rupp. And it's like you can't help but feel like Joe's character, that you just can't believe you're in this company. And I feel that way. I feel that way with the Lopez's. I feel that way with Christoph Beck. Like I just, these people that I get to work with. Yeah, it's so much a part of it. But yes, back to your question, Chosen Family is integral to the story, and it's there's very little kind of Pollyanna sunshine in this show, but that's where the thread is really that sort of found family piece.
Thanks for confirming that gay and which is a Venn diagram and it's just a circle. So thank you.
Yes. Yes.
No, thank you
Yes.
so much. It was an honor to speak with you. Love this show. Love what you've done. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I loved your questions. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Can I interest you in a pre-road appetizer? They are old granola bars I didn't have much to work with.
Ate before I came.
I'm just so excited to speak with you about your wonderful role as Teen. I will not call you any other name but Teen. That is what we're calling you. No,
Yes.
I'm so excited and I love what this show does for getting you to be yourself. And it just feels like such an authentic experience of acting. Do you believe that Jack, as a filmmaker and all the other directors, really let you kind of play and grow with this character?
Yeah, I mean, Jack is just a genius. I think that she deserves every bit of praise anyone has ever said about her. She's the most incredible writer and storyteller. The way that she crafts characters is so wonderful, and so to get to play one of her characters is such an honor. And you know, her and the team were so great in letting me play and fine tune myself and give him, an edge that they might not have necessarily seen at first. But they really let me have freedom with that, which is so much fun.
I love the freedom that you said this character has, especially in the different outfits you wear. I love that one episode
Yeah.
when they're like, "Oh, I missed your eyeliner. I did miss your eyeliner. I thought it was such a good look." No, I love the role and I love this story. It feels like of queer elders finding a young queer person and
Yeah.
kind of that chosen family aspect. Did you see that in the material when you were kind of first reading it? Did you like that chosen family aspect to this?
Definitely. I think, it's such an integral part of the show is the relationships forged and Teen is almost like the gay kid in the room full of English teachers. Like the way that gay kids often have a
Mhm.
affinity for their English teachers. He's in his people always ask me like, oh, was it I get asked quite often, oh, was it hard, going in such a feminine space? I'm like, no, it really wasn't, and also like it shouldn't be. Like you,
Mhm.
weird question to ask. Like, is that because you're afraid of your own masculinity, or I don't know?
No, I'm the complete opposite. I'm like, was this the best time ever hanging out
Oh
with
yeah,
like
it was.
Aubrey
Yeah,
Plaza and Patti LuPone? Come on.
completely, and it was the best time ever.
No, and speaking of these wonderful relationships, I believe Agatha and Teen might be one of my favorite pairings I've seen in quite some time. Can you speak to building that relationship with Kathryn Hahn and just being the sassy duo I need this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think that relationship between me and Kathryn is sort of just like was such a natural one. We had quite instant chemistry when we first met, and what's so great about working with someone like Kathryn and building a bond with her is that there's so much trust built that you can just have fun with each other and have fun with the characters and just like go for it in a way that you're not worried about like doing the wrong thing. You're just going for it, and it means that you do your best work at that point.
Well, it seems like it was such a freeing, kind of open set, which I think any creative loves. I also love seeing you in the horror genre. You're kind of known for this very sweet show, and I
Yeah.
think it's funny to seeing you be a little dark and edgy. Do you like horror? Was this something you were familiar with before jumping into a pretty dark show?
Yeah, I used to love horror films as a kid. I used to sneak and watch the films that I wasn't allowed to watch. I could like stay at my friends' houses where their parents would let them watch the scary films, and I used to love them. Still do. I still love horror films, so it was very cool to get to tap into that like darkness in there.
I love that you sound so much like Teen as the character. You, like Joe and Teen, just seem so interconnected. Is that something that you feel with this character that it's just another extension? I feel like everything else, you put so much of yourself into it. Do you feel that Joe is that extension of you in times? Or Teen is?
Sometimes, I actually Teen is I feel like is very different to me as a person, which is really nice. There's definitely similarities in the things that we like and the way that we might react to situations, but Teen and me are very different people, which is actually really almost nicer in that way, getting to play someone that's very different to yourself.
An actual character, not just being
Yeah,
a heightened
exactly.
version of yourself.
Yeah.
No, Joe, thank you so much for speaking with me today. I absolutely love the work you do here. It's fun, campy, over the top, but it's just deliciously dark, and I think you bring that perfectly well to this.
Great. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you.
Of course. And thank